room.
No way. There's somebody from Millinocket?
Yep.
Okay. Afterwards, I will tell you a limerick. Everybody from Millinocket knows the limerick. Okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Festool Live. It's Friday. It's 12 noon. Happy Festool Friday. I know what you're waiting for. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. And no, I haven't started drinking yet. My favorite three-letter word. Okay. So let's introduce the room. We are looking mighty green around here. We got Big D. He's got his Shamrock shirt on. We got Chris, the unit cyber, with his Bucky's St. Patty's Day baseball t-shirt. Over here we have Minnie. Minnie's got some no green.
No green.
But she works for Festool.
But I have Irish blood.
She has Irish blood. And then we have Sparky. Look, Sparky's got his Festool collar on. It's green. We have Garrett Fumio Sato online. He's going to hate me. He already hates me. He's answering all your questions. He is the man, the myth, and the modern day legend, and a very good friend of mine. Okay, everybody. I got to talk about a couple of things. I said St. Patty's Day? Okay, good. Happy St. Patty's Day. Next week, we're going to have a best of series, and there's a reason for that. Yes, I am bringing new products to the Journal of Light Construction Show in Providence, Rhode Island. We will be live from there. We won't be doing the Festool live, but we're going to be there 2 full days at the U.S. Tool and Fastener booth. Be there or be square. And yes, we're bringing the TS60, which this episode is on. I've been waiting to do this episode forever. Chris, what episode?
131.
131. Excellent. And what else do I need to say? Minnie, anything? Any updates?
Not for me.
Okay, good. I think that's it. Okay, so what we're going to have in the booth next week at Journal of Light Construction, that's Friday and Saturday, okay, is pretty daggone impressive. We have a lot of new product releases this year. We highlighted some of them during our new product launch with all the influencers. You saw some of that. Thank you for watching that evening with us. And it's going to be pretty cool. I've been getting everything ready. I'm wicked stoked. Boy, you guys like calamari? If you come, you got to go to the Union Station Brew Pub because they get the best daggone calamari on the East Coast.
They do.
And that's the only reason I go and do the show. I'm just kidding. Okay, so you ready? Here's the fun part. See this puppy right here? This is the TS60. I got to give a little personal nod to this. I have been waiting forever. I did a training, I think in December on this, and I started using it, I think last September, August, and I am so impressed with this saw. First thing I'm going to show you, Big D, we good?
Oh, we're good.
Okay, I heard a sigh, man. I'm like, oh no, we're not off the air already. I'm just getting started. Okay. I'm going to apologize really quick. There is too much to tell you about this saw, so I got other episodes planned. I know I'm going to miss some stuff. I got notes written all over this place, but I will tell you, this saw is unlike any saw we have, and I have a few of them up here. I got a 75, I got a 55, I got the TSC 55. There's nothing the same in there. It is a total redo, and I'm going to show you some of the little things. This is out in Europe right now. Oh, yep. You're going to notice in Europe, it's a plug-it cord. I'm going to get the elephant out of the room. Why is this a hardwired cord? Okay. And the reason, it's a non-plug-it model. We wanted to get it here. It's a 110. We did not want to starve the motor. It is an EC brushless motor. Okay. But in the future, we do need this cord because we did not want to starve the motor. We wanted to give it all the power. It is almost an extra, a little over 1,000 more RPM than a TS55. It's 6,800. Am I live again? Woo! Oh, I almost had a heart attack. I almost threw a 7. This is my favorite hour of the week. Okay, now check it out. It's a 1.8 millimeter thickness of blade. That's your kerf. But it's 168 millimeters. Okay, I'm gonna let it out. Okay, this is the same size blade that goes in the Sustainer saw, the CSC50. And yes, I will have that at the US Tool and Fastener booth. Stop by. Okay, so the blades are the same for the new table saw that's coming out. I don't know exactly when. I don't know exactly when this is gonna come out in the States. So I gotta be careful with this. I just wanted to get the information out to you. Now, also, another disclaimer, it's a TS60 KEB. Okay. It is not, usually when you look at that number, okay, 60 or like a 55, that's your depth of cut off of the guide rail. But here's a little disclaimer, or it's not actually the depth of cut off of the guide rail is not 60, it's actually 62 millimeters. So do a little bit of math with me. I've done this 1,000 times over the year. The thickness of the guide rail, including these PFTE strips, okay, is 5 millimeter, okay? So take that 62 and subtract 5. Minnie, what do you get? 62 minus 5. 50 something. 57 millimeter. So your depth of cut at 90 is 57 millimeter on the guide rail. And that happens to be here, let's do some imperial, 2 1/4, okay, inches. That's pretty daggone good. Now, the other thing is, and this was the confusing part to me, I said, okay, so what's the depth of cut when I tilt it to 45? Well, let's do that. And then I read in the manual it said 45 millimeters. So it was kind of confusing, 45, 45. No, subtract 5, and that gives you 40 millimeters depth of cut on a 45-degree angle. And I'll show you angles and how to set them in a minute. So I have it written over here so I don't forget. That's an inch and 37/64, or roughly an inch and 9/16 depth of cut, or thickness of cut at a 45-degree. Whew, boy, that's some specifications right off the bat, huh? Wow. All right. But there's a lot of little things to this saw that I really jazzed the heck out of me when I first saw it. So let's talk about the blades, back to blades. And then we'll talk about depth, we'll talk about angles, we'll talk about everything. Okay, so the blade that comes with it is this one right here. It's a 42 tooth alternating top bevel. And no matter how many times I teach this, people go, oh wow, I didn't know that. Yellow means for wood. So 42 tooth, and boy, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna make a rip in a minute. You're gonna go, man, I don't know. That thing is wicked smooth. If you're doing some hardwoods and you need a ripping blade, the yellow means it's for wood. Okay, that's I think it's a 14 tooth. Let me check. It's always labeled right here. Yep, 16 tooth. The Panther for the 60s is a 16 tooth. And this is a 28 tooth. That's universal blade, cross-cutting and ripping. This is the one that comes with it. And then if you have red, that's your plastics blade. Look, blue, aluminum. This is your laminate plastics. And you can also use this for plastics and aluminum. These are triple trip grind. Always blue is the aluminum or non-ferrous metals. Red, plastics, laminate countertop. And then this one is green. That means it's a specialty blade. All of these here are carbide. This one is a polycrystalline diamond. There's 4 teeth, and it's for like Hattie board, you know, cementatious products, like concrete backer board, wonder board, all of that. And that works fantastic. Couple that with the system and dust extraction, whoo, it's a winner chicken dinner. Okay, enough talking. Let's set this up for a quick cut, and then I can get Chris in a position so I can start dialing in some of the settings on this. And you've seen me do this before. I always use the limit stop for this. Okay, and Big D, I'm gonna have to coach you on this one because you're gonna get some good shots on this. I'm gonna plug it in to my CT48 here. Is that a 48? Sure looks like it. You know what's really weird is I'm used to cordless and I'm also used to plug-it cords, but this is hardwired. And it's a little different, but I got used to it again. I'm gonna hook up the dust extraction. Now, as I do all of this, This is one of those little things I think is wicked. Big D, you stay right there. I'm going to reach over Big D because I'm going to grab this. This is the port that is on all the other saws, okay? And you're going to notice it's a higher degree. And what happens when this twists, happens? And you've had this happen. The hose catches, right? Not anymore. This is a very slight degree, okay? And yes, will it fit on your other saws? Absolutely. I checked because I switched mine out at home. And I'm going to put this on now like this and hook it up. Now, depth. Oh, wait till you guys see this. Chris, come over here so we get set to depth. This is 18 millimeter, right? Or 3/4. The cursor's new. It's not a push and like I taught you before. It's a pinch and you can move it up. And it's a dual cursor where you reduce parallax, and you'll see where it says FS, right? Always think when it says FS, that means on the guide rail. So always calculate it to the thickness of your material. And look, oh my God, what's this? And that's 3/4 right there. I could set it just like that, look, because you have the dual scale. What I like to do is just take a quick rule or a compound or a combination square, and I can just go across like this, and I can set that. But you have two. Now this bottom line is actually the full depth of cut off of the guide rail. So that's just something I like to point out. The FS means the guide rail, and it's on all our guide rails. It means something, I think, in German. I just think it means Festool Sedge. Okay. Okay, so there you go, and you have the two scales. You have imperial and you have metric. I've always used metric. I love metric. It makes it easy for myself. So that's how you do it. And also, once again, we have a micro adjust right here. Big D, can you get that? You got a micro adjust, and once again, on the very top, you know this, that is a 5 millimeter recess, so I can dial it in like this with the wrench that comes with it. All right, so that's really nice. Now, it's the little things, okay? Watch. See these knobs? They've been redesigned. I don't know what it is. They're just more ergonomic. They're easier to twist, easier to get at. And when I look at this, I'm just going to twist them like this so we can look at setting bevels. Well, what I'm going to do first is what I always do, right? Is I have access to these knobs. You know what those do, right? Let's look at it really quick. Okay, it's the cam system, okay, to knock out the slop on the guide rail. So I'm just going to take it like this, and to get to it, look how it's recessed in here. This whole sole has been re-engineered, and I just tighten it up like this, and I just back it off, and I grab it here to check if there's any slop. Now, while I have it here, hopefully we can all see this from whatever angle, Big D and Chris. We have some green pads on here so you can see. Here's the cursor. It goes from 0 to 45. Okay, now, if I want to go to 47, there's a little, and I could snap that, and it goes to 47, or you could set it at 46. And I always tighten it here and set it up. So you have a positive stop at 45, 47 when you press this button. And then when I bring it down, look at this. It says -1. You see how there's a hard stop on the steel right there? And back here. We got all of that in there, guys? Okay? Watch. If I take it, I push it, and you'll hear it. It drops down to -1. Okay? And there's some cool applications for this. Hopefully I could show you a few later this year for the -1. I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to set it 0. The other point I wanted to make out, or point out, I don't want to make out with that point, I want to point it out, is right here. You see these two little set screws? Those bottom here and here. You do not need to calibrate this. This is calibrated at the factory at perfectly 90. But in eventuality, if you need to dial it in, you can. And there's 2 points of contact now, not just one, so it is really robust. Oh boy. Oh my God. Chris came up to me earlier a minute and he said, Sedge, I think this might be a long one. I go, I'm looking at the clock right now. It's going to be. I hope everybody's staying in there with me, please. Okay.
You're good.
Okay. Next. Big D, you need to come and get this. I'm going to do this really quick. I'm going to make sure I'm tight and everything. Okay. I want everybody to see this. I got my hand off the trigger. This is the new riving knife right here. And, I'm sorry. It's not a riving knife. This is the new anti-kickback. So this is one of the safest saws on the market. Probably the most powerful with the EC motor, okay, and the 6,800 RPM, but 2, the safest track saw out there, okay? We have the anti-kickback on the TSC55 KED and the TS55 FEQ. No, that's the riving knife, the noose, okay? Now we have the riving knife on this one. So what I'm gonna do is I'll talk about this in just a few minutes, but that is the window, and that doesn't come off anymore. It stays on there, even if I put the outside splinter guard. So I'm gonna set that up, okay? I'm gonna reset my depth, make sure, because I've been talking. And what I'm gonna do is over here, Big D, make sure you get this. I want to explain the anti-kickback function. I'm not going to make it kickback. You can go online and see all these great things. But I want to show you the lights. So if I go like this and start it up, you see that? It's green. That means I have what? The anti-kickback function being used while I'm cutting. Right here, look, I'm going to hit it and turn it off. See how, oopsie. Okay, see how it's orange? That means it's off. So say I'm using it off the track and that little piece, that little anti-kickback knife, it rides on the track. And what if I'm cutting something off of the track and it falls into a hole, a knot or something, okay? I just want to turn it off. I don't want to stop the saw in the middle of a cut, so I turn it off. But I'm aware that I have it off because I see that orange. Now here's the one I had to wrap my head around, but I finally figured it out. I'm gonna move the saw back here. Hopefully you can see this, Big D. And I know that that anti-kickback, if I take it, and I'm just gonna eyeball it, is off of the guide rail. Okay, so watch, I'm gonna start it, and you're gonna see it blinking orange. You see that? That means it is not engaged. It has to be on the track. So that's what, if you see it blinking orange, once it gets on the track, you'll engage it again. Okay, so I'm just gonna do what I always do. I just verify, and let's make a cut. Now, I'm not going to push this too fast. Please stop. We're gonna have this next week at the show in Providence, Rhode Island. Please come by so you can see this, because this is, actually this saw is what I'm shipping to JLC. Okay. You can feel the power in this saw. It is absolutely amazing. And the quality of cut, like any Festool track saw, is superb. Okay, more little things. I'm gonna undo the power on this one so you can see some cool stuff. Chris, can you shoot this way with it? I want you to see the motor? And when I said this whole housing has been redesigned, the motor no longer protrudes over here. So I think I showed in one of the Festool lives that this motor can get away if I have a clamp here. So that has totally been redesigned. The clamp no longer gets in the way. Okay, see how that hangs over there? See, it goes further than the rail. It's perfect. Okay. Now this is really cool, because I don't know if, well, there's a lot of people out there who probably never changed a blade. Let's change a blade, because this makes a huge difference. Okay? When you're changing a blade, make sure it's unplugged. You know, when I say fast fix, that means I got a blade change happening. There's a 5mm hex key right here. It locks the arbor down, okay? And it locks the arbor. I'm gonna move that up so you can see it. And do you notice something? It's sitting flat. Look at the handle here. It's sitting completely flat. It's not rotating on you when you're doing it. It is really cool design. So I would imagine a bunch of you mentioned that, and our engineer said, you know what? When we redesign or do a TS60, we're gonna make sure we design it right. Okay, yeah, we do listen to you. So there's the 5mm hex, and this, I'm just gonna pop it up so you can see the new flange nut, and it's actually geared. Look in here, Chris, see it? Big D, you got that? Yep. Okay, it's really nice. The new Sustainer saw is the same thing, okay? It's geared like that. When you put it in, back in the blade, you just take it like this and it finds itself. It's just such a sweet design, okay? Now, let's talk about plunge cutting, because I thought this was a great upgrade to the whole saw. It's not a hole saw, it's the overall hole saw. Okay, I'm gonna put it back here. We've always had this on our saws. I've called it out 100 times on Festool Live. Chris, you're good, I'll bring it over. We know what these lines right here on the side are, right? When this saw is in a full plunge depth, this is the starting point and that's the exit point, okay, for the saw, right? Okay, look, we'll do it again, watch. I'll plunge it right there. That, and that's how I line up my saw to do a plunge cut. I don't know what episode it was, but we did a whole plunge cutting episode. Maybe we'll do it again this summer, who knows? Right here are the same lines, right here, but also right here on that little plastic piece. But, Big D, zoom in, they're also right here on the back of the housing. So you can set this up in so many different configurations for plunge cutting. We've taken those. By the way, it has to be in a full plunge position for these lines here on the back of the housing and the front of the housing for it to line up, but it lines up absolutely perfect. And don't forget, when you're plunge cutting, you make sure you use the limit stop that I probably tossed somewhere. Okay? But we'll go over that again. It's about time I refresh the plunge cutting segments on live. Whew. Hang on one second, let me check my notes. Dust port, this is the one I always forget, okay? Yeah, the cord, you see how I wrap it up around my arm and everything when I do it? But what if I don't want to do that? Look right here, there's a little cord hook right there. It gets it out of its way. Oh. You didn't know that, Big D, did you? No, that was my idea, I'm just kidding. Okay, so let's change a blade. Oh, I did change a blade. Okay, and you know about the blades. Well, hey, Minnie, I'm making good time now. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay. Wow, I am doing pretty good. Hey, did you guys get all that math? Did that math come across pretty good on the depth of cut? Because that's what everybody wants to know. What's the depth of cut, right? The 55 versus now the 60 versus the 75.
How would you compare the power from the 60 to the 75?
Whoa, that's a good question, Big D. Boy, that's tough, because the 75 has that 2 3/4 depth of cut, right? And you get quite a bit more on an angle for 45. The power's phenomenal, but it doesn't have an EC motor. And I think that's what makes the difference. So if I'm too personal, I haven't done any tests, they're probably out there at Festool corporate. It's probably, I feel it has more power, the 60. It's just wonderful. But am I always going to have a 75 at home in here? Of course, because sometimes I need that extra depth of cut. Okay? I thought it was going to be a lot larger when I heard this TS60 was coming, but it doesn't seem any heavier than a 55. So there we go. Okay. Let's go over here. I'm going to talk about some cross cutting. Someone asked me, is this the one all beat all? And yeah, God, that's a tough question, because I do need my 75 here and there for that depth of cut, especially waterfall these days. Okay, I have so much, I'm so cramped in here. Okay, now, I think we did an innovation on accessories a few episodes ago. No, that was tools. The original innovation was on accessories. You guys commented, you text me, you loved them. But when I was setting this up today, I thought, you know what? I've seen 3 different styles of outside splinter guides. Okay, this was the original. Okay, we still sell this because this is the one that goes on the 75. I'll grab it right here so you can see Chris and Derek. Okay, and then you've got a knob that locks it in. And that's a huge difference between our track saw and a lot of track saws out there. We can have splinter free, like everybody gets splinter free, or close to, but also we have it on the outside as well. Then we came up with this. This lives in the 55, and all the 55s, REQs, FEQs and both the 2 cordless track saws, and that lived up inside the track saw. It still does, right here, but you have to take out that little clear window to put this in. And I usually have this just living on the saw all the time. Now this one's a little bit different, but you do get an outside cut with it. And when you put it in, remember, you push this all the way up. This goes and hooks on the outside like this and slides in, and you get a nice outside cut as well. Okay, remember when you put this on, you push it down to the ground like this, and you're ready to go. Okay? Let's make a cut, because this is one of the reasons you buy a track saw from Festool. Okay, yeah, we have an MFT system, a great crosscut sled with repeatability, an angle, unit, everything like that. Just about every single accessory in the Festool system works with a TS60. There's a couple of items that change, like the outside splinter guard, the dust, because it's a little bit wider in here, the dust guard or false joint, and also it has a new rip fence. I'm not gonna get into that. I'll go into that later this year. Okay, let me just double check and set the depth. I got everything set. This is something I always do. I make sure I check everything because I talk too much. That's what no, Big D goes, no. Oh yeah. So I got that on there. Let's make a cut. Okay. Now, this is why I personally bought a track saw in 2003, I think it was. Look at this cut. Look at that cut, splinter free. And look at the outside cut, splinter free. Oh, sorry, Chris. Wow. So there you go. That's why a track saw, that's why it's not just the blade, it's just not the saw, it's this piece of plastic right here. It's a system, it works. Oh, I just love this. I just love this. Okay, so, I didn't break out the saw. You guys know we have a carpentry saw, don't you? You guys know it's called the HK and the HKC, and it works with this really cool rail. Okay, and it slides on. You know what? This is live. I'm going over here to get one so you can see it. Whoop, 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 whoop. Hey, yes, I know where everything in this wall is. Okay. But let me move this. Okay, so this is the HK saw. The blade lives below. Yes, you can still plunge cut with it, okay, with this tab like this, okay? Yes, there's a Festool Live on the HK saw. It goes on the rail like this, okay, and makes an incredible cross-cutting carpentry saw, okay? The question came up when we came out with this saw and this track. Can the TS track saw work on this? Because the confusion was, yes, this can work on the track. So, everybody, drum roll, please. Guess what? Let's come in here, cameraman. Look at this. I'm going to take this off. Okay. We have, look, this works with the FSK system as well, which is so daggone nice. So you just got to be careful when you're using this, because this doesn't lock down. You got to make sure you have a long enough rail. I'm going to use the 420 rail. I'm going to cut this because when the HK came out, this left a little nib down here. This is a full 2 inches. Okay, but it left a little nib. This is a TJI. This is a very common joist here in North America. So when I put this on, okay, and you're gonna notice with the FSK rail, you have 2 points of contact, okay, and then you have this movable point right here if you need to get some angles. But all you carpenters out there, this saw works like a gem. okay? And you have a track saw for your finer work. And now I'm just gonna take it, bring it in. And remember, you gotta make sure you have plenty of rail in front of this. So I'm gonna give myself a little depth here. And there you go. It now cuts fully through a TJI, but also one of the other things with the HK was beveled goods on what we call an 1.5 inch stock. So you can actually tilt this and you can cut the bevel with the FSK. Okay, because on the HK you were leaving a little nib if you didn't put firm pressure down on it. I always was getting it, but I put firm pressure down on the saw. And that was one of the things where it did leave a little bit on there. No longer you have the TS60 to do so. All right, let me see. Let me just see. I'm gonna look around to see if I've covered everything. It works with the FSK. I think that's what Gil liked the most. It works with the FSK. I'm just looking at everything, everybody. And by the way, to release it from this saw, come in here, cameraman. Chris, look, you gotta push this back and it just slides off and you can put it right back on your track. I was like, oh my God, did I get another TS60 already? So there you go. You have the best track saw on the market, the most powerful, the most accurate, the most splinter free. It works with the parallel guides. It works with everything in the system. It works with the new rail cutting kit. And it works with our FSK rail. I truly want to applaud our engineers in Europe and around the world in the TTS system for producing this saw. Thank you so much, because this thing is amazing. And guess what? Stay tuned. Because it's all, the full circle will be sometime this year. Hey, and oh my God, this is too much fun. Okay, oh my goodness. Hey, we're good. Hey, did I see Trappist? All right, Trappist is online. Cool. Okay, everybody. Oh, I'm gonna go back and ship this, and I'm gonna go, you know what, I forgot to talk about this, this, and this. I apologize. I think I covered so much today. I think I covered everything. I just keep looking over at my notes to see. I'm good? All right. So let's start calling all of you guys out. Oh, by the way, thank you for tuning in today. We have Soren from Denmark. We have Doug from Zionsville. We have Joe from Waseca. Mac from Woodcraft in Springfield, Virginia. Jason and Yana. Wow, this is great, from Granite Falls, Washington. Willie from Freeville. Hipstark from Dayton. All right, we have Petri from Jolari, Finland. Warren from Batavia, Ohio. Russ from Chichester. How are you, Russ? Matt from Tinsley Park, Illinois. Gary from Plano, Texas. Gerard from Panama City, Florida. Chris and Rick from Newfoundland, Canada. That's up my way. Jeff from Clarksburg, Maryland. DreamWorks Workshop, Fredericksburg, Virginia. That's a really cool name. Sam from Kingston, New York. Dana from Yokolt, Washington. Maddie from Hancock, Michigan. Johnny Ringo. Johnny Ringo's from Maine? Min?
Yeah, maybe today.
Hey, Johnny Ringo, how are you? Tom and Kelly from Georgia. Joshua from Sun City, Florida. Doug from Millinocket, Maine. Hey, guys, you know what's up in Millinocket? That's up in, hey, when you're from Maine, that's up, Millinocket's up in the county.
Apparently a limerick.
Oh, those are good limerick, isn't there, Doug? Okay, so what's cool is Millinocket is such a cool place, and it is in the middle of the woods in Maine, and it's in the middle of Aroostook County, the biggest county east of the Mississippi. So what we say is, he's from the county. Okay, we have Anthony from Staten Island, New York, Jacob from Rhode Island, Jeff Covey from Lansing, Michigan. We have Rob from Cinnaminson, New Jersey. We have Willie the Sparktrician. We have Robert and Zana from, guys? Delaware. We have Chad and Colton from South Whitley, Indiana. How are you guys doing? Steve from Bermuda. Ant. Hey, Ant from Fontana, California. Oronzo from Mississauga, Ontario. We have Michelle from Paris, France. Joseph from Bellevue, New England, Nebraska. John from Westphalia, Vermont. Bo from Hoover, Alabama. Michael from Edmonton. Johnny O from Atco. Hi, Jerry. Jerry G from Chi-Town, which is Chicago. Blake from Novato, California. How you doing, Mr. Weber? Phil from 1,000 Islands. From 1,000 Islands? That's
what he said?
No, it's 1,000 Islands. You know what 1,000 Islands is?
No.
I think that's upstate New York. Hey, we have Mark from Anaheim, California. Jason from Puyallup, Washington. Marty! How you doing, Marty from Cincinnati? I know you. Matt from Newark, Ohio. We have Bob from Columbia, Tennessee. Mike from Puyallup. Joe from Akron, Ohio. How you doing, Joe? You're a good friend. We have Bahama Brian, Mr. St. John Moss. How are you? We have Brian from Pumperville, Australia. That amazes me. People stay up to watch. We have Nate from Woodcraft, Washington, D.C. area. Dan from Kingman, Arizona. I know you, Dan. No, that's Dan from Kingman, Arizona. Huh?
It's not my handwriting today.
It's me.
Yeah.
I know, it's okay. It's okay. Hey, and it's St. Patty's Day, and I haven't started yet.
Oh.
We have the Warped Woodsman, the Johnsons from Portland, Oregon. We have Kurt from Rochester, Michigan. We have Dan from Whitestone, New York. We got Yosef from Slovakia. I wonder if that's the Yosef we used to work here with us.
I wish.
Yeah, he was such a cool dude.
I wish him.
Bernie Bayer from Black Forest, Germany. The Trappist. That's Travis, baby. How are you? From Jamestown, Indiana. We have Polish Matt from Candlewood Lake, Connecticut. We have Clay from Columbia, Missouri. We have Bland from Portland, Oregon. Really? Or is that Bland, Oregon? Bland, how are you? From Portland, Oregon. We have Meridud. I know I'm pronouncing that wrong, but that's how it's phonetic. And it's Karen Nerfon, North Wales. We have Adrian from Cork, Ireland. You have a beautiful place. We have Joey from Texas. Kenneth from Oak Park, Illinois. Giev from Shaker Hills, Ohio. Jake from Lowell, Mass. I'll be in Lowell next month. Chris from Vergennes, Vermont. Steph from Medford, Mass. Rick from sunny Blackpool, Washington. I think. No, UK. Sorry about that, Rick. You're always there with us from sunny Blackpool, UK. Kevin from Palm Springs. Peter Halley from Virginia. How are you, Peter? Kim and Dave from Rio Rancho, New Mexico. Jerry from Vail, Arizona. Craig from Alpharetta, Georgia. Alpharetta. I was going to say Alfredo.
I always go to Alphabet.
Alfredo, Georgia. Ravindra from India. We've had people from India, but welcome, Ravindra. We have Eric from Columbus, Ohio. Des from Harrogate, England. Mizra's Workshop from Murphy, Texas. Matthias from Sweden. Ron from Eaton, Virginia, Washington. Milos from Serbia, Belgrade. Roby-Wan Kenobi from Corinth, Texas. Hey, guys, before I continue, I got to tell you, the new product extravaganza is coming to your neck of the woods. We will be in the LA area at Cerritos College. We will be in Austin, Texas. And then later on the month, we'll be in Toronto, Canada. So look it up online. We sent out a mass email. Check it out. Come visit us. We'll be there. It's going to be so much daggone fun. We have Dave from Portland, Oregon. Oh, my goodness, Minnie. This is outrageous. This is so cool. Fernando from the Bay Area. We have Christopher from Malta. You're always with us, Chris. Thank you. Josh from Sutton, England. Egbert from Esbeek, the Netherlands. Chris from Charlotte, North Carolina. Andrew from Toledo, Ohio. Peter B. from Taunton, Mass. That's a cool place, man. I've been to Taunton. Paul, Cheryl, and Sam from Anthony, Arizona. Tony from Noblesville, Indiana. Where's Noblesville? I'm just kidding. Jeff and Jill from Allen, Texas. Kevin from Santa Clara. Brian from East Petersburg, PA. That's Pennsylvania. Larry from Sun City, West Arizona. Sven from Norway. Brandon from Litchfield, Connecticut. Tracy from Paola, Kansas. Back from Paola. I love it. We have Ed from Mountain View. Is that Hawaii?
Oh,
Hi.
yes.
Okay. Hi. Hi is for Hawaii. Gregory from Cape Cod. I would imagine that's in Massachusetts. Adam, how are you, from Union, Maine. Woo! George in the Jungle from San Jose, California. TF Raz. Taraz from Massachusetts. Joey from Sems, Alabama. Swempa from Halmstad, Sweden. Mike E from, what's that place? Merced, California. Clint from Raphael, California. Giannis from Jarviso, Sweden. I think people from Sweden want me to pronounce things. Chris from Minneapolis. Juan from Riverside, California. Craig and Tyler from Virginia. How you guys been, man? We got Paul from Reading, Berkshire, UK. Aloysius from Copenhagen. I know how to say that, don't I, Minnie?
Yes, you do.
Okay, we have R. Wingo SF something. What is that?
It's W. Ringo at SF7. I missed him.
W. Ringo at SF7. We have John from Pleasy Leeville. Pleasy Leeville. Okay, anything on the back of that?
No, I tried to get them all.
Huh?
I think the Polish Matt is one of our winners from the build-off.
Was it really? No kidding. Hey, thank you. That's awesome, man. Yeah, we got those out last week. I think they've both been delivered.
Nice.
Matt, I think you got the mahogany one, right? I mean the walnut one with the barbells in it. I like that one, and then the other one went north, I think, to Wisconsin.
To Doug.
To Doug. To somebody.
McNutt.
Yeah. Huh?
Doug McNutt.
Doug McNutt. Yep. And thank you very much. That money went to Purposeful Design. You know that because you donated direct to them. Thank you so much. Wow. Okay, everybody. That was a nice session. I'm heading somewhere right away. Huh?
Matt said it's arriving today.
Is it really? Awesome, everybody. Thank you. Hey, get ready, because we get one heck of an April coming up, everybody. The end of March, April, we're coming out to see you. Please come check your emails, check our website. We have web pages on where we're coming out to demonstrate all the new tools coming out this year. So please come visit us. We'll be out there hanging out, demoing tools. It's pretty cool. Also, I always tell you this. The reason Festool Live is successful, and Minnie called it after like the third or fourth session. She said, Sedge, people are really starting a community out there. And look what I did at the end of the day. I called out everybody. Thank you for being part of us, Festool North America. We really appreciate it. I say this every time, and it comes from my heart. We love you. From the whole crew, Garrett, great job today. I'm sure you've been answering a lot of questions. Sparky, thanks for not dropping any. And I want to tell you right now, everybody have a safe St. Patrick's Day. That's a wrap. Episode 131. See you later, everybody. Have a great weekend. Be careful.